Nanaimo man flees vehicle, rollover crash with 2 bricks of cocaine in hand.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Sietch's hometown.
Oh my God, we almost left without laser comb discussion.
This is Lasercomb Tonight. You give us Patreon money, and we'll give you the world.
The world.
Our first story tonight: witnesses capture shootout at Bank of Montreal on Shelbourne Street in Victoria, British Columbia. Local story, folks, but back on Tuesday, June 28th, there was legitimately a bank robbery. Like an actual, like, legit bank robbery that led to a shootout that saw both suspects dead, and 6 members of the emergency response team, which is basically the Canadian version of the SWAT team.
Yeah.
Um,
From different police sections of the town, because we live in a mosaic. Yeah, it was like Saanich police and Vic.
there's Vic PD, there's Saanich PD, there's West Shore PD, and I think there's also Sydney Saanich, like Brentwood Bay area,
I
also
know police had gone down
force.
from
Yeah.
multiple districts. Yeah. And yeah, this doesn't happen in doesn't really happen here,
No, this
folks.
is like some straight up like Reservoir Dogs shit. And folks, one of the reasons why I wanted to bring it up is because until very recently, I lived in Victoria, BC for several years on Shelbourne Street in the 2500 block. So I was right down the fucking road from this. Well, I no, I wasn't because I don't live there anymore. But this was right up the road from where I lived until like a month ago.
Yeah.
So it's pretty wild. The suspects were found to be these like 22-year-old twin brothers who hilarious, who were absolute like gun nuts. Their Instagram accounts are just loaded with them like taking photos of themselves with like assault rifles and shit like that. Perhaps most amusing, though, is that their car, and this is the one that they used at the bank robbery, is a white 1992 Toyota Camry with racing stripes on it. Oh, I'm
Well,
not.
I
Now, I'm not a car guy, but putting racing stripes, even I know, like putting racing stripes on a fucking 92 Toyota Camry, that's a
it
that's like that's
it's
like an old
ironic.
that's an old lady car.
Hell yeah. Racing stripes make it go faster.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's one of the signs that they had planned on robbing the bank. But
It's like when gamer PC bros, you spend all the money on RGB lighting because that makes your games faster.
it makes your games faster. Yeah. The gayer your PC tower is, the better gaming experience you have.
At the more rainbow RGB lighting, the hornier of a time you're gonna have on Pornhub.
That's
Anyway,
just science.
that is just science. Anyway, what do you have for the next story?
All right. Oh, and to follow up with that, as far as I know, all of the officers down have are like
I think
none
three
of
of
them
them.
have died.
I think 3 of them were in critical condition, but they've all made it.
They've all made it, and like their surgery like required, but I don't think anyone's died.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're moving on from exciting like Heat. Y'all ever watch Heat? Uh Things to something a little bit less exciting and unexpected. And by unexpected, I mean completely fucking on point for Lasercomb tonight. Elon Musk news. Nothing to say here except that he has openly made jokes and is switching to vote Republican with such controversial posts like the left is losing the middle, and posting an image of Marx being misquoted. And the image of Marx, I'm looking at his Twitter right now, it's "Give me that for free,
Oh,
hungry Santa."
Karl Marx. Yeah.
Karl Marx, sorry, yeah. What did I say?
Oh, you just said Marx.
Oh yeah, sorry, Karl Marx.
So
And
I'm like,
Elon Musk.
we're probably talking about Karl Marx here, but I'm holding out hope that somehow Elon is like conflating him with the Marx Brothers.
You know what? That's actually kind of too clever for him. I might have actually clapped if he had done some sort of crossover joke there. But no, he's like, oh, this is capital in a nutshell. And it's like, dude, you moved to a state to avoid like workers' rights. Like you
Yeah, you just fired people who spoke out against you. Meanwhile, you're buying Twitter because you believe in free speech.
Yeah, and back in 20 yeah, fuck you.
Yeah.
And also like back in 2020, this has all been like leading up to shit or whatever. Like these are older ones. What was his most recent one? Here we go. They wrote peace on the wall at Berghain. I refused entry.
Cool.
Peace. I hate the word. Those who do care about peace, myself aspirationally included, don't need to hear it. And those who don't care about peace, well, and it's like, you're simultaneously saying peace is bad when people want peace, but then like being like, oh, well, I'm one of them. I'm just not a snowflake like you losers. Whatever. It's to nobody's surprise, he's like switching Republican, I guess. And I'm like, are we sure he wasn't already? Like Republicans favor big corporations.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I'm kind of shocked that he wasn't already. So cool story, bro.
Speaking of big corporations, Florida executive wanted for fraud is nabbed on a jet ski bound for Cuba. Florida
Amazing.
man, Florida man is awaiting trial for allegedly submitting more than $4 million in fraudulent healthcare claims. Was detained on a jet ski as he tried to vamoose to Cuba.
Now I'm sitting here wondering, can a jet ski make it to Cuba? Like
From Florida to Cuba, I mean, like people will sometimes emigrate from Cuba to Florida like on rafts. So, I mean, why not,
yeah, but
right?
rafts don't run out of gas.
That's fair. I mean, he tried.
Let's see. The total straight line distance between the
Oh,
shortest.
okay. So here we go. The jet ski was strapped with special fuel meant for extended trips and a trove of food and water bottles.
Okay.
So he souped
was
this bad boy up. He knew what he was doing.
the shortest distance between Cuba and Florida is 411 miles.
Wow.
Hope you don't have that phobia of like open sea with no coast in sight. I can't remember what that's called.
Oh, yes, I do. So,
because most of the trip is going to be that.
yeah, with just
Wow.
you, your jet ski, and a fucking life jacket.
Maybe a fucking compass. Yeah. Wow.
I'm
nabbed him.
I'm almost disappointed he didn't make it.
Right. Right.
What? One, because that's hilarious. Two, I kind of respect his
Tenacity.
the tenacity of it. And three, I also I don't really see fraud as that big of a deal.
And that's the thing. If you're like stealing from people in the terms of fraud, right? Like skimming off of customers in a company, that kind of fraud, obviously bad. But like when it's like, oh no, this guy stole millions of dollars or lied about medical, like whenever it's like kicking the man, flipping the bird to the man, I'm like, go man, go. Same thing with whistleblowers. I'm like, yeah.
What do you have for the next story?
This time it's my turn to be a local. Some people may or may not know that I live in the capital of British Columbia on a little island, and the capital is called Victoria, and we've got a Royal BC Museum, which a lot of people are fond of. They wanted to update it, start a new build it up again, make it, and it already had a lot of indigenous exhibits and that kind of thing, but they wanted to modernize it, not hide the bad, right? Make it more about BC, make it more about Canada's and BC's like history to do with the different First Nations
And
and
also
different
make
indigenous,
the building more seismically sound because we
but
get a lot.
also fix the building because it's a million years old.
Yeah.
Like a lot, there's multiple things. A lot of people are just like, but I love the museum. And it's like, well, there's a lot of reasons for it to happen. And the bill was getting up there very big. And well,
Yeah,
our
it was quickly
premiere was
approaching $1 billion.
before the cement foundation had even been laid. And our premiere was basically like, you know what, this is a bad idea.
Yeah, because there was a poll, I think something like 81% of BC residents polled were against it. And for me, I'm like, yeah, I get the idea of like, wanting to revamp the Royal BC Museum
Oh
and
yeah.
yada yada yada. That's cool. Like I'm down for that. But maybe don't spend $1 billion on that during a housing crisis when you could
And
spend that $1 billion on building affordable housing.
like, please, for the love of God,
Yeah.
anybody out there in the Energon verse listening to this, well, one of us may have been priced out of the capital,
Yep.
and the other one is may shortly be following. And
Much to
I
his
just
chagrin, he's actually kind of missing Victoria.
uh, right, and it's like, oh shit, uh it would have been easier if I hated it.
Yeah.
And again, not to get into personal blah 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 and to make this more like entertaining, but like I probably have already spoken for dozens of minutes, if not maybe hours, about how I all my savings and how I was priced out of the housing market while my partner and I were getting ready to look at houses. So imagine all your life's savings forever just being worth 20% less. Just, oh yeah, you have all this money. Well, you know what, with inflation and the housing market, actually, how about it's worth less?
Mm-hmm.
And it's maybe not build $1 billion museum is up there. Maybe make houses so that everyone I know isn't priced out of this fucking town. Chris, my best friend, is gone. Siege, his ex that we are both still friends with, gone. 5 other friends gone. And it's like, why?
Yeah.
So that fucking rich people can like line their pockets before everything collapses again. I don't know, man. It's COVID madness. It's COVID madness. That's all I got to say. Back to you.
I've got some COVID madness going on of my own right now. Because
Right.
considering that's another thing, I leave Victoria and like the fucking like 3 weeks later I get COVID.
Right. And it's
Like,
like, what? And you've basically like have thrown yourself into an ocean of carnies.
yeah,
Right, like pubs every now and then, and still following safety
just
protocols, right?
following
Work
safety
at a
protocols.
grocery, all
Working
of
at a
this.
grocery store, but then like I leave Victoria and then like 3 weeks later I get COVID
You
after
haven't
never.
even done anything public since you've left.
No, I went out for dinner once. Other than
And that
that,
didn't even lead to you getting.
no. Other than that, I just go to work and come home. Uh,
You North Island rednecks. I love you, but I also don't want a 4x4 with you. All right.
right. Speaking of North Island rednecks, Nanaimo man flees vehicle rollover crash with 2 bricks of cocaine in hand. Folks, Nanaimo is where I work right now, and Nanaimo is my hometown. It is about 100 It's about 100 miles north of Victoria.
Yep. That's
Uh,
where we Mad Max truck drove all your stuff up island, and
yeah.
well, welcome to welcome to Nanaimo.
So this driver was driving drunk and rolled his car. He uh, got up and fled the scene with two big ass bricks of cocaine in hand. So he's been charged with intent to traffic and
I
also
found
driving under
these,
the
your
influence.
officer. I crashed and then found these.
I was just holding them for a
I
friend.
was holding them for a friend. I thought that this was, look at them. Yeah, there's really not. There- drywall dust. Uh, I don't even know it.
It was the passenger of my car. Their dying words were for me to protect these two like blocks of
Energon cubes.
energon cubes, a mysterious substance of which I have no idea what they are.
All I know is Soundwave turned them into energon cubes, and that's how you plead insanity. You just vividly like make up a story about Transformers. Fuck. Well, so long, amigo. Enjoy. I mean, like,
Enjoy probably doing like 4 months in prison and
I
two
was
years
going to say,
probation.
enjoy like making contacts in prison and learning nothing.
Uh, anyway, what you
Yeah,
got?
all right. Um, I think we've talked about it. Maybe we have, maybe we haven't. It's two headlines back to back. I can't remember which one came first because we live in the shadow universe, everybody. But boom, the U.S. Supreme Court was like, "Hey, I'm just throwing this out here for the madness of it." Was like, "Hey, whoa, okay, everyone wants us to get involved with the ongoing abortion stuff, but we really need to leave that state to state. So we can't get involved. This isn't a federal thing. That's a state to state thing."
Even
And
though it's been
then,
a federal thing for 50 years.
but now it's like a state thing. And then, as my recording partner has pointed out, a day later, um, New York tried to ban closed carry in the state, and the U.S.
Concealed carry.
Supreme Court concealed carry. Sorry,
Yeah.
And the U.S. Supreme Court was like, whoa, this is a national matter.
Yeah.
No, we're putting our foot down. You can't do that. That's a God-given red-blooded American right to hide firearms on themselves. And it's just like, that's
The cognitive dissonance going on, but right there is just madness. In the span of 24 hours, they're like, we need to get rid of abortion because, it's not about abortion. I've seen so many people on social media try and argue this. It's not about abortion. It's about states having the rights to make their own laws. And then, like, within like 24 hours, they're like, state tries to make its own law regarding guns. Whoa, ho, 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 no, whoa, now, no, 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 no. You don't get to do that.
this is America, God damn it. And it's just,
And those same people who were like making those exact like same excuses regarding the whole Roe v. Wade thing, those exact same people were like, "Fuck yeah, my guns! Hell yeah, Supreme Court!"
America. And so I've said this before, particularly if you listen to Lasercomb tonight, a good old Cal theory that's kind of becoming more true and true each fucking year is that we live in a shadowverse, and the world did indeed end when the Mayan calendar ended in 2012, and every year since has been more and more unbelievable,
Uh-huh.
arguably even worse than the previous.
Yeah, it's been a wild time.
It's a wild time, and but good luck, history books. Man, I was helping, real quick segue. I was helping a friend choose and buy freaking, they're huge and heavy and $500, Jesus Christ, an air conditioner, because if it's anything like last summer, we're going to die due to climate change once the heat waves hit. And
Well, we already had one. It just wasn't as bad as the same one that we had the year
last year
previous.
or the
Yeah.
year previous, yeah. And he was complaining about some things and sighing, and he's like, man, there's so much terrible world-ending shit. I don't even have the energy to like talk about it anymore. And I turned to him as I was helping him load this into his car, and I'm like, man. And somebody beside us had like 2017, like sorry, there was a hat. It was like just a hat like sitting on the ground, and it was like a 2017 marathon. And he's like, hey, free hat. And I'm like, 2017, when the only thing we had to worry about was an orange president.
Yeah.
And he like stopped, he like put down the air conditioner, and he's like, god damn it.
Remember
And
when
like he had like a fucking brain, like an existential like moment, like right there. He's like, oh,
Remember
I
when
never would have thought that it'd be like, yeah, let's go back to 2017.
remember when 2016 was literally the worst year ever to everyone? Like even like YouTubers that I was following were all like, fuck 2016. Just because like Prince and David Bowie died. Obviously, like something a lot worse happened later on in 2016, but like within the first couple of months, people were already like, this is literally the worst year ever because Prince and David Bowie died.
And both Christopher and I are like, yeah, that boy, oh boy, that's we lost a huge part of pop. We lost two pop icons,
Oh, absolutely.
music icons in general,
Yeah.
not even just pop. And boy, did things get
But
did the Shadow Realm double down after that?
that's where I'm going with that is like looking back. We've had some worse years than 2016 in the years following.
Yeah, and people used to joke in like 2018, 2017, it's just like, what's your apocalypse bingo? Now, like, that's not even funny.
No, it's not even
It-
funny anymore.
it-
It's like
it's just like and like cry laughing. It's so many things. There's no point even like going on about it, but like kids can't go to school. When kids
Yeah.
go to school, they get COVID. It's just ooh,
they get COVID, they
spicy.
get shot, and
Jesus, that
Republicans keep doubling down on the fact that like
if the
guns
teachers had guns, they could stop these maniacs. And I'm like, yes, our minimum wage over fucking worked, like understaffed schools. Let's give them guns and ask them to take down fucking like
now hold
school
on
shooters.
now. Guns aren't the problem. You see, it's we need better mental health support for sick people.
Ah, yes, when those guys were robbing the bank with automatic weapons. What we needed to do is send down some therapists to ask them how they feel about their mom. Yeah,
Instead of just preventing them from, getting guns to begin with.
preventative measures sounds like commie talk. Fuck. Yeah, so that's it. That's my rant. Back to you.
Woman eaten by 20 cats after dropping dead at home.
Oh, yeah, cats will fucking eat you, man.
A woman in Russia, and they'll eat your face too. Like they'll start there.
Yeah, they start there. Is it because it's the softest tissue or
Uh,
something? Oh, it's the exposed tissue. Yeah.
yeah. A woman in Russia was eaten by nearly 24 pet cats after she collapsed and died in her home.
You know what?
Artic-
Fuck it. Yeah, I'm making the joke. Probably one of the better ways to die in Russia. Ho, ha, hoo, ha. Come at me.
Article doesn't even mention how old the woman was.
There was no way to tell. Her face was gone.
There you go.
They don't have birth records in Russia. They have death records, if you're lucky.
All right. What's next?
A good old to remind everyone that not only are we living in pre-apocalyptic eras, but a dystopian sci-fi one. Amazon's latest trick. You can pipe in a dead person's voice through Alexa's speakers. Have you ever been like, you know what? I want that corporation that's been listening to us and recording our conversations to have, instead of just Alexa, change your voice to accent to Australian. Alexa, can change your voice to Solid Snake. Be like, hey Alexa, can you actually emulate Mima's voice? I miss her since she passed away in the 2020 riots of Pick Your Poison.
In the
And
2011 Vancouver hockey riots.
oh fuck. Yeah, she and well, what can I say? She was
In Canada, we don't riot over important social issues. We riot when our favorite team loses a fucking hockey game.
we cause billions of dollars in damage and multiple people dying because a hockey game goes a bad way.
Yeah.
Fucking. But anyways, so recently here. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So what I want to know though is can we make Alexa sound like this woman who was eaten by her 20 cats?
No, but we can make Alexa sound like her cats
After they've eaten her.
after they've
And
even more
power and
gained her power
and learned how to speak English.
Well, that's a freaky like writing prompt. You come into a house, right? The cats are barely alive. They all kind of stare at you. Their meows are a little bit weird. You can't quite place why. You find an old body that's like been eaten and who knows how long it's been there. And you turn around to leave and like 6 cats and then 8 and then 15 block your path. And they speak in unison as a hive mind. Thank you for releasing us.
You know that
Holy shit, I just got chills.
you know in John Carpenter's The Thing, which is a movie, the day that I found out I had COVID, I decided to watch John Carpenter's The Thing.
I like your reasoning for it too.
It felt appropriate to me. I'm like, people being paranoid about invasive organism that is slowly killing them.
And indeed is actually worse than they presumed.
Than they initially thought it was. Yeah. I'm like, I have COVID, but watching The Thing feels appropriate. But you know that sound that like
Oh, as it's breaking form and turning into a more primordial like thing, and it's kind of got like a
yeah
sound.
I'm just imagining like some of the cats like making that sound as they're like
as tendrils come out and their mouth like splits into 4.
Some of them are like slowly like crawling, like pulling themselves toward you. As
Or
they're
attaching
like
to the ceiling and
they're like learning how to speak English.
oh no bueno.
We suddenly turned a story about a woman being eaten by her cats into something even more nightmarish.
Yeah. God damn. Rip in peace, lady.
Yeah.
It was either that or die from starvation or wolves. So yeah, here's the thing. So Alana Pierce posted this goddamn story about Amazon's latest trick, right? And
yeah,
Siege knows who that is, and I do, and we're fans of her work.
Yeah,
we've seen her progress. She's on different.
We discovered
podcasts.
her
She's
in
chill.
very different ways.
Very different ways.
I discovered her because she was a regular. She used to work for IGN. She was a regular on their Xbox podcast, of all things.
Right. And I discovered her after she joined Rooster Teeth on the Funhouse team.
And now she works for like Sony Santa Monica as a writer.
Also good for her.
Yeah. No,
like that's cool. Her dream, one of her dream jobs. So seeing her career go through that, and then the existential crisis of realizing she's younger than both of us.
And not just like slightly younger or anything. She's quite a bit younger.
What is she,
like
28?
I think she's only like 27 or something like that.
Yeah. And we're like, damn, but also good for you.
Yeah.
But also damn.
but also
Yeah.
damn.
She had posted this Alexa kind of thing. It's just like, hey, you can hear one of a loved one's voice if you turn on Alexa's like voice collecting kind of data. And I've heard of websites like this. There are websites where you read different sentences, and the more sentences you read and the cadence in your voice it picks up on, and then you can type in text and hear it kind of try to emulate you. And the more and more and more lines you give it, the more it sounds like you.
Neat. I should check that out.
Oh, I'll go. It is neat, actually. Until it freaked me out, and I deleted my my database, because it gives you the option. It's like, hey, you can delete yourself from this. We don't use it. I'm like, yeah, time to go. I'll share it with you because it got uncanny valley for me. But this is like the Alexa version where you're just, hey, just accept cookies. Just hit accept. It's kind of like when you install an app and it's like, hey, this flashlight wants access to everything. Your mother's maiden name, your contacts, like literally everything.
This flashlight app wants access to Apple Wallet.
Really?
Why?
But why? And my contacts? You know what? How about no? And Alana Pierce's words was no. Like her post was just no. Holy hell, who would have thought saying no to this nightmarish like idea would bring controversy? So many people came in and were like, listen here, bitch. There are a lot of people who, yeah, a lot, hundreds, that were like, actually, like, to help the grieving process, like a lot of people would probably be soothed by hearing their mom or their grandma or whatever like read to them or hear that they love you, especially if they never got to say goodbye.
Well, okay, so it is like it's a fairly common thing that I've seen. Like if someone passes, especially if they pass like suddenly
Yeah.
for their loved one, like if they still have like a voicemail or like some kind of recording of them
Yep.
somewhere.
Oh,
like
they keep the recording. Like a lot of women and men whose husbands and
yeah,
wives have died.
just so they can re-listen to it.
I get that, and that was one of the examples listed.
Yeah,
You too.
yeah,
And that's when I was reading and I was like, I kind of get that, but like you can say that without coming in and fuck, Twitter is so all or nothing, black or white. You can
right.
come in and be like, hey, like I understand why this could be freaky for some people, but like one of the things my mom does is like listen to his voicemail, and she keeps his line, she pays for his line month to month so that she can like keep his voicemail. I mean, there's probably a way to record it so you don't have to pay, but whatever. And so I get that thing. I get the bad and the good that it could be used for.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I get that. But it's just like I imagine people being like, oh, now that my dad's dead, Alexa, switch to my dad's voice and tell me that you're proud of me. Like right, like could it be used for therapy? Anyway, sorry, I've lingered on this too long.
Right. Alexa, switch to Jean-Luc Picard's voice and tell me
Ooh.
you're proud of me.
And yeah, good. Now Alexa, in the background, like play Enya. Alexa, order extra lube. Oh, and okay, Alexa, read the script for dominatrix talking down to me in Jean-Luc Picard's voice. Here we go. We got a Friday night plan. You've been a naughty. Why did I sound like Megatron?
I was just gonna
say. You've been a naughty boy while I've been gone, haven't you, Christopher Siege? Okay, what else do you got?
A man in India divorced his wife for cooking him instant noodles every day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, judge says.
The crazy son of a bitch. He did it, folks. He escaped that abusive relationship. Okay. Wait, are you not allowed to divorce in that country?
No, you are.
He's trying to take the kids, trying to take the house.
The couple divorced with mutual consent, the judge said. Under India's Special Marriage Act of 1954, divorce by mutual consent requires both parties to live separately for 1 year and agree to dissolve the marriage. It's the same in British Columbia, too.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, there's not really much more to this story. It's just they were unhappy, and so she was feeding him instant ramen noodles all the time, and
Uh,
he got fed up with it. So they just agreed to split up. It's just a funny headline.
I I think that's hilarious.
I do, yeah.
All right. And do. Oh, my favorite. Again, I always try to make the heavy-handed political like news lines a little like lighthearted, but this one I have to mention. GOP consultant urges shoot to kill response in response to abortion rights violence from the protests. And I like the I like the follow-up, my own subtitle to this. It's just like, yeehaw, we're so pro-life that we'll fucking shoot you dead. I, it's
I was talking about cognitive dissonance earlier. The GOP's obsession with protecting life by not allowing women to have abortions, but then also wanting everyone to have guns and fucking shoot one another. And this is literally a case of like a GOP dude
have
encouraging
you clicked the
someone
articles?
to encouraging someone to commit people to commit murder for the sake of protecting life.
Oh, so this guy went away behind bars for inciting violence, right? Nope. You can say whatever the fuck you want in that country, and I guess it doesn't count as inciting violence, even when you tell people to like go fucking shoot people you disagree with.
Right.
Yeah. Ugly, gender confused animals are torching American cities. Maybe they should be shot or apprehended and told, man, imagine ugly, gender confused animals. One of the right, like the far right, like the stupid, like alt-right like takes is that the left is a bunch of like ugly women that have been forced to become lesbians because they can't get men, and they're against abortion because they can't get a male date. Have you heard this?
Kinda, yeah.
Not surprising. They big dumb. Anyways, shit is dumb, shit is wacky. Cognitive dissonance, shadow realm, back to you.
Speaking of big dumb, what's up, scumbag? Grocery store worker walks up to Rudy Giuliani and smacks him in the back.
Did he say what's up, scumbag?
Yep.
Oh,
This was caught on video too.
oh, I want to shake that man's hand. Or is it a woman?
It was a man. So a grocery store worker walked up and smacked Rudy Giuliani while he was shopping.
Fuck. What a legend. What's up, scumbag?
I was shoulder to shoulder with Rudy inside ShopRite, said witness, whatever her name is. We're talking, and all of a sudden an employee came out of nowhere and open-handedly slapped him in the back and said, "Hey, what's up, scumbag?"
And it's an employee.
Yeah, it's an employee. The 39-year-old suspect, whose name was not released, was charged with second-degree assault involving a person over age 65. The State
Oh, is it
Island man,
worse when it's an old person?
I guess, yeah. The State Island man had no prior arrests. This is gonna be me in a couple of years.
I was gonna say, like, this guy's 39. This is you. This is like you meeting like fucking Trudeau or
No, I don't.
someone kind of the conservative party
I
or
was gonna say I don't hate Trudeau. Um, I never been a huge fan of Trudeau, but he's actually the way he's handled certain things over the years, he's won me over to an extent.
honestly, a big part of being a politician isn't all the lies and shit that you do or don't do. It's how you conduct yourself
Yeah.
and how well you are at public speaking. A good example is Justin Trudeau. A good example is Barack Obama. hate their policies, right? Hate the things that they promised to do when they were in office and they didn't. But those sons of bitches know how to conduct themselves,
Yep.
and how to speak to each other and speak publicly, which apparently is a dying breed.
Yeah, Trudeau's daily COVID addresses during 2020 were like 10 out of 10. Like, got to give it to that guy. He stepped up.
Honestly, yeah, and his approval ratings started climbing, and indeed, like you had said, like you were like, holy shit, like I needed to hear this stuff.
And it was a I think it also kind of helps that like Trudeau was delivering these daily addresses from his home, um,
Right.
where he was trying to where he was addressing the nation literally every day while we were dealing with a pandemic. And meanwhile, we have like uh, Emperor Cheeto down in the United States who is like
Throwing parties.
throwing parties and like trying to pretend like trying to like downplay the severity of everything just because
Oh my god.
his voters
Believe in science?
don't believe in science, I guess.
Who would ever vote for such a man? Geez, who?
Who indeed.
Who indeed? And man, you know what? Speaking of our favorite red-blooded Americano friends,
Is this our top story of the evening?
this is our top story of the evening, and we both agreed that it should be. Data finds, well, this is a study that went on for a long time, across more than 40 states, at least 1/3 of which are so sorry, let me restart. So far in 2022, more than 300 anti-LGBT bills have been proposed across 36 states, at least 1/3 of which are directed at trans youth. Wow. Good job, guys. The year is only half over. Fuck you. This surge, especially in anti-trans legislation.
I've been saying it for a while now, but the Republican Party, kind of the bad guys.
kind of turning into the Empire from Star Wars. And by kind of turning, I mean kind of already.
Yeah.
So this surge targeting anti-trans legislation from republics stands in stark contrast to a startling fact. Republicans, more than any other demographic, love transgender porn. Like, like a lot. Like, not just twice as much. You ready for this? With more than 4.7 million transgender porn related Google searches each month, how many do Republicans represent searching? Well, the answer seems to be a clear almost all of it. And you can come and check us out on, if you're listening to this, you're on the Discord, you're a patron. But like, please go and check out the science behind this. It's color coded and has maps of America for your enjoyment. And let me see. Whoa boy, femboy. That's hot shit in Texas.
Wow.
Let's see. Yeah. Shemale, really popular in Georgia, Florida, Alabama area.
Not the most savory term in this day and age, but
None of those
it still does get used in porn a lot.
in porn a lot. Yeah. And I'm saying these as they are flags. I we have both dated trans people. These things aren't okay to say, but you know what the Republicans love searching for? Search for the terms rank including shemale, tranny, femboy, ladyboy. Like I said, like porn tags, derogatory. I almost wonder if it's like if they get off on them being derogatory. But anyways, number one state. What do you think it is? Siege.
Florida.
Ooh. Florida's number 19.
Oh wow.
The most transgender porn obsessed state is Texas.
Well,
Everything's bigger in Texas.
everything is bigger in Texas, including the dicks on your female stars.
Just the way we like them. Yeah. Then Georgia, Kentucky, Missouri, Kansas, Virginia, and North Carolina, Mississippi, Tennessee, Ohio, etc., Louisiana, Alabama. And those are usually red states, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Weird, huh? Guess and the funny thing is there are graphs. Please, if you're listening to this, go check out the link that I think one of us posted in the laser comb tonight. There's graphs corresponding to the concentration of Republican to Democratic votes and the searches therein. And it's kind of like 1 for 1. Like the more Republican you are, the more you like trans porn.
It's
Like
almost as if the Republican obsession with the whole transgender bathroom issue is because they're like, oh, because these people are just like sex maniacs and like they're gonna rape people. Maybe the reason why is because they like internally are sexualizing trans people so much.
oh, they don't want trans women in women's bathrooms because they're the ones sexualizing them,
Yeah,
because they only view them as
as sexual beings.
pornographic objects.
As pornographic objects. So they're projecting their like sexualization of them onto these trans women, and therefore assume that these trans women are just going to be sex maniacs raping women in public washrooms.
And you heard it here first, folks, on Lasercomb tonight.
Well, I think that about does it. That has been Lasercomb tonight.
And as always,
I've been one of your hosts, The Siege.
and I'm Cal.
And until next time, you're welcome.
And we're sorry.